Hi gang, welcome to Mike on Monday, the West Ham show made by a bloke called Mike that comes out on a Monday, mostly, when it doesn't come out on Tuesday. Summer's here folks, we've got one more week of the season left, but even when the season ends, I'll still be here doing these because I love it, you love it, we're all here. Let's have a big group hug now, big group hug. Anyway, been a busy week at West Ham, let's see what's been happening at West Ham this week. Let's go that way now, go now. Well, it was quite a week at West Ham, and while you guys try and puzzle out how I live in that house, it's distance, that's all it is people, just distance. The house is a long way away. Yeah, it's called perspective. Nothing to do with it being very small. So, what happened at West Ham this week? Well, let's start with the big row which kicked off between Andy, I need to lose Carroll, and David, I'm too miserable, Moyes. No, I'm being harsh on David Moyes there. Andy Carroll was out of order, and so was David Moyes. Had a big huffy row, wouldn't talk to each other, and it all looked very, very grim. And there was rumours going around that both would be gone in the summer. Yes, Moyes and Carroll could have been gone in the summer. Look how upset I am, look at me. Look, I'm really upset with the prospect of losing David Moyes and Andy Carroll. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Andy Carroll, let's go there first. If he was fit, that's the biggest if ever known to mankind. If he was fit, he would probably be quite a good player. I think personally, for the style of football that modern teams tend to play, he's too slow anyway, but he is a bit of a batting around option, could be brought off the bench to win games occasionally, but he's never fit, is he? He's been fit so little, it's unreal. I mean, I've seen fitter dead people. Andy Carroll, I haven't, I'm being daft, but you know, he's never fit. David Moyes, lots and lots of talk this week about how fat he'll be gone in the summer. There were massive polls run by people, 11,000 people voted in one poll, which went on to say that 89% of them wanted him gone. Whether the board will listen to this or not, or whether they'll just decide that he's the easy option to keep, I don't know. Back to the news, there was a big poll done in the week about the stadium. You probably all filled it in because it was done, and it was talked about in the cup of tea with Gio and Gonzo, and they did a great job going through it. But basically, what came out of it is nobody trusts the board, nobody thinks we're going to go anywhere with the board, and nobody wants, nobody really likes the stadium or are quite ambivalent about the stadium, and most people don't think we should have moved. So, cutting edge news there. Likewise, Clarence Hugh ran a story this week about Albert Tripp-Smith. Now, he's the guy who's bought 10% of the club from the Icelandic people and invested a £9.5 million loan. Now, what made me laugh is that they went on about this like it was breaking news. I did a big piece on Albert Tripp-Smith in October, including his leveraged buyout way of buying clubs, and his favourite modus operandum is to buy a small part of a business, get on the board because he's done that, find out how he works, and then gradually start absorbing the rest of it. Will that happen at West Ham? Yeah, I reckon it will. I actually do think that's where we're going to go. I don't think that the board will sell out totally by until the 23rd, 2023, which is when they don't have to pay for selling the club. But they could sell bits of it until then. They could sell 10% here, 10% there, without relinquishing total control, but while dripping investment in. And I think that's how they'll do it over the next few years. And in 2023, they'll be gone totally. Not a bad idea as it goes. I do think they're in it for the money. I don't think they're evil people. They're just not very nice people. David Gove's probably a lovely old guy, but he's 83 and Sullivan's running it, and we all know what the ups and downs of that are. So there you go, a bit more on Tripp-Smith there. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. Saturday rolled round. I even did the Talk Good Game review of the game, so I'm really not going to talk about the game except the fact that we played very well compared to Leicester. We didn't play very well compared to like a good team, but we did compare to Leicester because Leicester were pants. Let's see what Mike at the Tactics Centre makes of this whole thing, because I'm sure he's got quite a lot to say about this game. Mike, over to you. Thanks, Mike. Welcome to the Tactics Centre. On Saturday, West Ham took on Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. Now, West Ham lined up with a very familiar looking, if we have a look here, 7-2-1 formation with 7 at the back, 2 in midfield and 1 in attack. Leicester, however, had a very different shape and feel. Leicester had clearly lined up in an extraordinary gone holiday experimental formation. If we have a look at this, they're playing a kind of 4 on a boat trip here. You've got 1 lying on the lounger, 2 have gone for a swim in the sea, and here's another 2 enjoying themselves on the beach. So a very, very experimental style of play there. You've got to admire the daring. However, it did lead to the result. Leicester City 0, West Ham United 2. Back to Mike in the studio. Thanks, Mike. Funny old game, this football malarkey, isn't it? Yeah, so there you go. A brilliant tactical analysis there by Mike at the Tactics Centre. I don't know how he does it. You won't see that on Sky, will you? Bonjour. West Ham, it is like a fish swimming in the sea. Or is it on a dish? Is she happy and free? Or dead? We will see. Monsieur the Hammer there, and his brilliant piece of West Ham poetry. I'm sure you enjoyed that. Has this season been as bad as we, as close-up West Ham fans, tend to think it is? If you're watching this, you're not a West Ham fan, what's your opinion? Leave a comment below. If you are a West Ham fan, then please do also leave a comment below. Obviously, we've got 2 games left to play, but it's nearly over now. And but I thought it would be interesting to find out what the man in the street thinks about how does general Joe public think that West Ham did this season. We sent our roving reporter Mike out to the beautiful town of Hugo in Hertfordshire to see what the people there made of West Ham's performance this season. Over to you, Mike. Hi, I'm here in the delightful Hertfordshire town of Hugo. It's famous for its real ales, imaginary ciders and exceptionally supple prostitutes. But what do the people of Hugo think about West Ham's season? We'll ask some random passers-by and see what they've got to say. Just as soon as some show up. We will do it. As soon as some people come along, I'll ask them what they think about West Ham season and get some on-the-spot proper interviews with people and see what they've got to say about West Ham season just as soon as some people come by. It's a lovely day. I'm sure there'll be somebody here who I can talk to about West Ham season really soon. What's your opinion on West Ham season this season?
I don't know anything about West Ham.
West Ham? No idea, I'm afraid. More of a rugger kind of chap myself. Sorry. So, there you have it, folks. West Ham season summed up in a nutshell. Back to Mike in the studio. Thanks, Mike. Pretty conclusive proof there. And now, folks, time for your questions and any other messages you've sent to me. Thanks so much for sending them in. And let's have a look at what we've got for you that way. Once again, folks, thanks so much for all your lovely messages and questions. So if you can leave a comment below in the comment section under here if you've got any questions for me, or you can tweet me at WHUMike or get me on Facebook, Mike Manera, under my actual name. And that was brilliant. Thanks so much. We'll start right away with a happy birthday to Dan and Joe. Their dad, Nigel, told me it was your birthday, guys, and you'd want a big shout out because you're regular viewers. Hi, Dan and Joe. Happy birthday, guys. Thursday, I believe it is. Hi to Nigel, your dad, and to Rebecca, who's in the same class as my little girl, my little boy, Ivo. They're the only two West Ham fans in the school where they are in Hertfordshire. So there you go. Ryan the Iron asks, first question for you. Ryan the Iron, he asks, what playing style should leave? Who knows? We've hardly got any squad anyway, and we're going to lose. Obviously, we're going to lose Joe Hawks, who's on loan, Joe Mario. Well, we have got the thinnest squad ever. Before anyone leaves, we need to buy. We really need to buy some players. And I wonder if some of those players who have been reasonably rubbish all season would be much better if they thought their place was in jeopardy and had a chance of actually being dropped. So, Ryan, before anyone should go, and there's undoubtedly that some people should go, we need to buy. Badderhammer Irons asks, are we angry? The way this was phrased, it looks really odd to me, so I've kind of extrapolated. I think there might be a little bit of predictive messaging going on. Are we angry about the change of stadium or with the promises that went with it? Well, this is obviously, there have been protests and people getting really miffed, and as I said earlier, there was a survey which showed people weren't happy with it. So is it the actual stadium or the promises that went with the move that's upset everyone? Clearly both. We removed the stadium and told that the world would be a better place. We're going to have these amazing players and we were going to compete for the Champions League spots and blah and blah and blah. And now we know that was a pack of lies. So if the stadium had been amazingly wonderful, that would have, it might have negated that a little bit. If the stadium was as it was, but they had invested heavily in the squad, etc., we probably would have swallowed that bitter pill a little bit better. So I think it's a combination of the two, mate. Revelator Alfast, which kitchen utensils would you use to clean up the mess at the club and why? Well, Alf, what I would do is I'd use a soup ladle, but first I'd add some salt, pepper, perhaps a little bit of oregano to the stinking mess, and then I'd use the soup ladle to scoop it all into a large bin. It's been a bit of a mess, isn't it? And but I don't think it's anything which isn't fixable with a large amount of investment, new owners, and a new manager. But you know, I love the fact David Moyes did that whole thing where he did training without the ball. Hopefully next season he'll be training without the players as well. And finally, last question is from Ryan B, not Ryan A or Ryan C or Ryan D or any other Ryan with a letter after his name. Ryan B. Hi Ryan. Now that we are safe, will the players be bothered in our last two games? I hope so. I'm going to both of those games. I should be on the boats before the game against Man U, and obviously it is going to be a bit of a drink up before and after the game for the final game of the season against Everton on Sunday. I hope to see you guys there. Before I answer the question, quick word to the wives. Guys, come here. It will be messy on Sunday. Okay, now I'm going to try and do a mic on Monday. On the Monday, I will be horribly hungover probably, and there is a slight chance it might be a mic on Tuesday again because it depends how big the mess is. But we'll see. Okay, I'll try and do it, and if I'm that ill, you'll know why it's on Tuesday. Anyway. Will I turn up? Well, we've all got tickets. We will be there. I think, you know, 50,000 people in the stadium should be enough motivation for you, and the fact that you're a professional and you should do your job. I mean, I'm here doing this. I'm not even getting paid for it. Oh no, it's fun. Yeah. Anyway, folks, I will hopefully see some of you at either the Man U game or the Everton game, or both. If you do see me on the boat at either game, do come and say hello, or at the game itself, do come and say hi. I'm quite a friendly chap, and do leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the show, or leave any questions you got or any comments below. I always enjoy reading those, and make sure you subscribe to both Hammers channels, this one and the other one, because they're full of great content and will be over the coming weeks, months, years, etc. Otherwise, all I can say is, come on you Irons. Look forward to seeing you next week. Come on you Irons.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, nearly reach the sky. Then, like my dreams, they fade and die. Fortune always hiding. I looked everywhere. I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, nearly reach the sky. Then in my dreams they fade and die.
Fortune always hiding. I looked everywhere.
I'm forever blowing bubbles, the pretty bubbles in the air.
Forever blowing bubbles,
Pretty bubbles, no more trouble. Pretty bubbles.